In this video, we'll talk about managing tons of campaigns. So once you get good at Facebook ads or marketing in general, and you start running a lot of campaigns, whether it's for your own business, just from the tons of example campaigns that I showed you how to do, you can end up with a lot of campaigns. And if you are managing campaigns for clients or you decide to branch your business into multiple brands, you're gonna end up with a lot of campaigns. Maybe not immediately, but over time, it's one of the things that's almost certain will happen if you are good at marketing. And so I want to give you a few tips on how to manage a lot of campaigns. First of all, let's take a look at what the big problem is. Tons of stuff to do, not enough time. That's it. And this means that you have to prioritize your attention and you have to reduce any kinds of wasted time that is coming from repetitive processes or too much analysis to figure out what the problem is. So this is where all the techniques that I'm going to show you are going to come into place to save you that time and focus your attention on the most important things so that you can keep everything running smoothly. Right, so number one is organization. And under organization, we have a few very, very important things that you need to consider. I think one of the most important ones is naming conventions, because if you don't have the right naming conventions and you don't know immediately by the name what campaign, ad set, or ad you're talking about, you're going to end up into trouble and you're going to have to look at that all the time. This is wasting incredible amounts of time. And if you're managing tons of campaigns, and this means that they're making a lot of money, this means that your time is worth a lot of money and you cannot afford to waste that time. It's just bad. So even if you have not done your naming conventions in the beginning, go ahead and do them. Do them in a way that works for you. Name them properly so that you know which company you're talking about, which campaign you're talking about, which objectives you're talking about, and then for the ad sets, again, what campaign they're part of, what account they're part of, and so on. And when you actually start branching into multiple accounts, you also may want to include the account name as well. And depending on your setup, you need to set up those naming conventions. Now, the next thing is automated notifications first. Not rules, notifications first. So the general idea is you have a bunch of campaigns, just like you imagine you have a bunch of children and you want to know if something happens to any of those children, you want to know immediately, right? It's just like putting a device on each and every one of them that if they get hurt or there's any problem, they have raising temperature, you want to know as soon as possible. It's the same with ad campaigns. So the way you do that is you prepare by setting up notifications for important things that are happening. For example, that would be increasing CPAs, decreasing return on ad spend above a certain threshold. It could be decreasing volume of sales, right? Your CPAs might be fine, but you just have fewer sales, lower spend, and in general, all these kind of important factors that need to stay in check for you to have your campaign running smoothly. Also, another one that quickly comes to mind is frequency. So basically, what you need to do is, if you're about to do an analysis of a certain campaign to see if it's okay, make sure it's running smoothly and it's perfectly optimized and you can leave it alone, then take the things that you are going to check for, take those values and numbers and make notifications if they go below or above a certain threshold so that you know that there's some problem with the campaign. Just like with the child, you put the device on them, they get high temperature, you know immediately and you can react on time. Same idea applies over here. Now, after that, you can go a step further once you get enough experience and you can start applying automated rules. So in case something happens, you can respond immediately with a certain action. And so you get to apply that if this, then that logic so that you can do that. Now, rules are a little bit more dangerous because they might have unpredictable effects in some cases. So that's why I always recommend notifications first. And then what you can do if you're managing multiple accounts and multiple different businesses and multiple different clients, what is I think is the best freaking solution in the world is the so-called multi-account dashboards. So what they represent is, and for example, you can do that in Google Data Studio, or there's other solutions for that. My personal favorite is Google Data Studio because there I can import all of my data from let's say things like Shopify. I can import my custom conversions, my Facebook and Google accounts, my email marketing results and campaigns, so I can kind of put all the data in one place in one dashboard. And so the first step is, of course, to create a dashboard for each business on its own so that you can open them one by one, right? But then at the end, if you have to be managing too many campaigns in too many businesses at the same time, you want to create a big master dashboard where you're looking at all the numbers very, very quickly. And so those would again be the same numbers that you use to do your analysis, the same numbers that you need to keep in check, like rising CPAs, lowering return on ad spends, high frequency, low or high amount of sales, and you know, also revenue, profitability, and all these numbers. And so you want to do a quick data over time graph on some of these things, you know, how revenue is going over time, how CPA is going over time, return on ad spend, frequency, and so on. Frequency would almost always look like this, but that's, again, something that you should be checking, and it should look like this, and then you fix it, and then it comes back, raises up, and then you fix it, and it kind of goes up again. But you get the data over time graphs for all of these numbers. Why do you do that? You do it so that you can compare the current moment, week, month, or quarter, or even a year, and be able to compare it with previous periods. Again, on that very same master dashboard, you can have a data selector, date picker or date selector for the period of time that you're looking for and for the period of time that you're comparing to, right? So this month to last month, this month to the same month previous year, and so on. And when you make these dashboards for the different types of campaigns, marketing channels, overall business performance, and so on, and put them one after another, what you can do is just take a very quick snapshot, a very quick look at the entire account, make sure that you are on track, that you're hitting your targets. You can also set these target bars, and let's say this month for this business we are trying to get, you know, $250,000 in revenue. For this one we're trying to get 750, and you're seeing how far you are along the way and are you going to hit your targets or not. So if you create that dashboard, you can actually monitor the campaigns quite easily and quickly. And even if you go on a vacation in Hawaii, for example, you're going to be getting the notifications if anything goes wrong or if any of your children is sick. And that's incredibly important because it will save you time, and it will definitely make sure that you don't forget to optimize a specific campaign and it falls down into nothing and decays into the abyss, which is what you definitely don't want happening to your campaigns. And also, if some campaign is showing incredible performance, that might indicate that you want to pay some attention to scale that campaign to make even more money. It's not about firefighting only. It's also about seeing immense opportunities that you can use to expand and grow your campaigns. So specifically, if you are interested in how to create these dashboards, you can check Google Data Studio on your own. And again, in the analysis and optimization course, we will be showing you how to do that in complete details, and then we'll be doing our dashboard madness and dashboard mastery courses, so that you can create those dashboards on your own and save a lot of time and make sure that you don't miss anything with your campaigns. Right, so that's everything that I have on managing tons of campaigns, and it's really, that's kind of the most important. When something happens, you need to know, and you need to prioritize your actions and react in the appropriate ways for each campaign, so that you can spend your time in the most efficient manner possible, and make sure that no campaign is left to plummet into the abyss.